in due to preferences that skew rich and white. One is by preferences for students who play niche sports like sailing or fencing or horseback riding, which most kids never get a chance to try.
Just like lacrosse. This is a kind of uncomfortable but necessary reminder of what we're doing here in Corpus Christi, or with South Texas Lacrosse. So this is a Netflix documentary called The College Admission Scandal. There's a lot of this stuff that is maybe iffy or not necessarily what I would agree with, but that point that they just made about rowing and sailing and fencing, and those things looking good on the resume of a college applicant, and also those being things that are not normally common in most places. Like he said, they're niche sports. This is exactly what I'm after. This is what I'm trying to remedy with South Texas Lacrosse. It seems like a small thing. It seems like it doesn't really matter. Is introduce lacrosse to the kids and just kind of let them see how fun it is, blah blah blah. But this is kind of the overall landscape that we're I guess kind of doing all this up against. Not only do most kids not get to try lacrosse, and so if it happens to give you an advantage when you're applying to a college or whatever, most kids won't have that advantage. But lacrosse is just one instance of a bunch of things like lacrosse that do happen to give you some sort of advantage in some maybe unspoken way. And also that thing that gives you an advantage is not a super common thing. Playing soccer does not give you an advantage, really in anything. I mean, maybe in overall fitness compared to people who don't play soccer, but that's about it. You're not going to fill out an application to anything and that's going to stand out to anybody. But it's because almost every country in the world plays soccer. But there's something about those sports that were mentioned earlier, and then lacrosse, where there is a demographic that plays lacrosse and that does rowing and sailing and things like that. And that demographic maybe has some advantages, and it's not anyone's fault that those advantages are there. It's not anyone's fault that that's how things are set up, but it means that how do we get those advantages to more people? We spread these types of things to more people. Sailing and rowing and things like that are a little bit maybe a little bit tougher. Lacrosse can be played anywhere, and so I'm out to just prove that lacrosse can be played anywhere, but also that point that was just made about say you apply that gentleman's example was applying at Princeton, and if you play a niche sport like those, then you're more likely to get a favorable look at your application. So now I'm just asking the question, what happens when a kid from Corpus Christi who's got good grades, who's got extracurriculars, who is, an upstanding, in some sort of good position in his school, also has one of those advantage-giving items on their application or on their resume, such as lacrosse. Can that advantage be transferred to other people who have access to those things that give people that advantage? That's what I'm trying to find out here in Corpus Christi, and really in South Texas overall with South Texas Lacrosse.